Welcome to Hide and Seek TV. It's your boy Hide and Seek, live from Denver, Colorado. About to get ready to delve into a deep breakdown. I'm going to be talking about the Super Bowl matchup and the symbology in it. We talk about this Trump-Obama ordeal. So let's talk about it. So anyway, you already know right now they're talking about doing something with the amendments where basically you'll be allowed a third term, where Trump will be allowed a third term. So notice how they got said they got to stop Obama from running because they already know what's about to go down. Like I've been showing you for the last 4 years now. Barack Obama playing a role. He's the Antichrist. Like I've been showing it, and I'm gonna keep on proving it over and over again. Donald Trump, like I said, is a Antichrist, but Obama is the Antichrist. As it's written in 1 Corinthians 51 through 52, that at the last trump, shall the dead in Christ raise up incorruptible. So that trumpet. So, obviously Lucifer is the chief musician. The trumpet got to be played. What is a trumpet without a musician playing it? It's just sitting there. You know what I'm saying? It's got to have something controlling it. So when you understand what's really going on and you're not just fooled about some color and, what they call so-called white supremacy, or, one of just that pride of, a so-called black man could never, be Antichrist because the so-called white man has the power. He know how to control. It goes into that whole theme of just that Willie Lynch syndrome that people still want to try to push. That's just all nothing but blasphemy, and all of that stuff is all helter skelter per se. So-called helter skelter. And I want to delve into this right quick, so I'm gonna talk about it. So let's talk about that Trump Obama. So in 2 Thessalonians 2:4, as it's written, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Let's look at that temple. And that day there should be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord, and it should be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord of hosts, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Christ. So the top of the altar is measured at 76 degrees, foreshadowing the kingdom to come. The 7 for the number of spirits, 6 for the number of flesh, which I'm going to get into all of that later on as I progress in this video. So you see Obama is the only president to walk inside that altar. And that's why they don't want people knowing where Zion really is. They want people fooled, thinking Zion is getting bombed and blown up, People are passing away, on the world stage because of bombs. As it's written in prophecy, Judah and Israel would dwell safely. The nations would not know war anymore. They would not war against Judah anymore. So that's all prophecy. So if they're in the land of Israel, why is it being bombed? And where are the altars and how did they get there? And why are people still talking about the second coming of Christ? Or, why are people talking about, this is how we're going to get there? And they fooling people over and over again. They still thinking Israel is that place. When it says clearly where the land of Zion will be is in the midst of the land of Egypt where the altars reside, that the Lord had designed to testify who he was and how he was returning. It's just all those foolish doctrines. So as you can see, Obama got that head scar. So let's delve into that head scar. This is all biblical. So Revelation 13, verse 1, and I stood upon the sand of the sea, because, the sand of the sea, as it's written, Israel is as the sands of the sea. So I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads, 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the names of blasphemy. The beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. So a leopard goes into the mixed, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And a dragon gave him his power and his seat and his great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. So you see that mixed leopard. So obviously, what they call mixed. We can go into the whole thing. Obama has the mother that's Ashkenazi Jewish Gentile. Of the Gentile, the Isles of the Gentiles. And then you have his father, which come out of Kenya, which goes into Ham. So I'm gonna delve into all of that right quick. But you see, obviously, Ham, which is one of the 3 sons of Noah, and Japheth, which is the Gentiles, and then Shem is the Hebrews. So people who are not really familiar can understand with Noah's 3 sons. But as you can see, Obama has that head scar that was wounded and healed. You see how deep this goes. So, and, you know, you understand Obama, you know, he's the Antichrist, and, you know, the dragon that empowers him he's the beast. The dragon that empowers him is Lucifer. So, you know, Lucifer still is behind the scenes in the spirit realm, because what's, you know, it's what's spiritual is physical. You know, as it's written, how the Lord guide our steps. So it happens in that sense where Obama is like the vessel for Lucifer, and he's still being controlled by, you know, the spirit side of it all. That's how it operates. You know, that's how they all operates, you know. So you see right here Barack Obama on his bike. So you see you got the bike that goes into that will within the will blasphemy in Ezekiel 1:16. You know how the Messiah be revealed via the circle of life, the will within the will. And then you see behind him he got to have a car showing, because he want to block that car. With his, you see he got to have, he's racing the car. The car's still, but like he's moving ahead while the car's stuck, going nowhere. Because when you understand Christ, it derives from the word karos, which means the anointed Messiah. Ka means soul, Ra means light. So here Israel. Israel. So you see you got Barack Obama with the Kara, right? And he's blocking Kara. You see? Just like the Omen movie came out in 76, and you see the little boy that was possessed by Lucifer riding around on his bike. Same bike as Obama. You know, as a matter of fact, I'm going to play something right quick. Let's delve deep into this tonight. I excuse the language. You know, I just want to go into this right quick. But you see Charlie Wilson. So that char goes right into that car. That CHAR, that just goes into the car. And then you got Wilson, you know, that goes into the will within the will, the son of the William. So, you know, as it's written in Exodus 3:14, the Father says he's I am that I am. So I hit the will of I am that I am, the will of God, the William. So listen to this and just pay attention to it. So you see you got that plane, which I'm going to get into later on. They show the planes. Look. So you see they want everybody stuck in that lake. You see they want everybody in that lake of fire. They want the children of God in that lake of fire. So hear what he say. You see that? You say get that dope in their vein, because as it's written, you know, the saints, and as it's written in Revelation 3:12, those who overcome will I make a pillar in the temple of my God. You got the 144,000 that is stand on the altar. That's why you have the pyramids that got 144,000 casing stones. So what they want to do is they want to crack up them bricks. They want to crack up them stones. And, you know, symbolically, people break it up and then they get high off of it and die. You see? This is very, just hear this one more time. Why they got all the children in the lake of fire, you know? See how they got the same thing, Christmas Day coming, because you know that Christmas Day goes into the whole thing. They already know about the Christ, the Christ. They already know the revealing of Messiah is happening, is what he really saying. So you see Big Meech sitting on the bike just like Obama, and the same as the Omen. You know, and that picture is him when he was a little boy. Big Meech, what, like in his 50s, 60s? You know that right after they say that. So you see how all that stuff come together. So like I said, I'll get into them planes later on, but I'll keep it like that for now. So let's delve into it, because when you understand how serious it is, you know, Obama was going to be the mixed leopard. That goes into the diversity, the spots. So, you know, obviously let's delve into his parents. You know, his father's from Kenya. Let's just be realistic with this storyline. His father comes from Kenya, goes to Hawaii in 1960, and he comes across the Gentile, and, you know, Obama's mother, Ann. And he meets her, and then, you know, obviously they fall in love. That's what they call it, falling in love, and then they have Barack Obama. And that's the story they want us to believe. They're in Hawaii, you know, in 1960. So, you know, let's think about it. 1960, you know, with what they call so-called interracial couples, they like to call it, you know, their codes of their false identity and false naming of humanity. You know what I'm saying? Look at like the stuff that was going on during that time where people were possessed with those Freemasons. Like I explained before, you had a Freemason, fully possessed Freemason, you know, going to town, and he rile up the people. You know, he do the most brutal things a person could even imagine. And he traumatized, you know, real Gentiles. And then he got so much influence because he got seducing spirits on him. So he rile them all up. You know what I'm saying? He riles them all up. And then they want to go out there and do acts, and then they say 15 years later, they talk about the heinous acts that they done. Oh yeah, well, you had Gerald Stevenson. He never met a guy like him. The guy came into our town of Kentucky, and we was all blah 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 blah, and he was the most racist, what they call racist. He's the most racist man I ever seen, and this guy blah 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 blah. He took a so-called black man and blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? And we never seen nothing like it. And that's the stuff that they did. That's how they operated. It was Freemasons who was working behind those scenes, sending in their agents. So you see, they want us to believe that's how the whole thing fell into perfect fruition. And then they bring forth the first president, this first so-called black man of the United States. So, then she had the Indonesia connection. She had the Honolulu, Hawaii connection. She had the Seattle connection. She had the Wichita, Kansas. That's what people got to understand, which I'm going to get into in a minute. So, his mother is from Wichita, Kansas. So you got to have the Kansas connection. So it's very important, to understand what's going on. That's why in Revelation 3:9, it says what? Because we're in a time of revelation. We're in a time of the revealing. So as it says, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. So you see the false Jewish, the Ashkenazis, So let's delve into that. It's a whole lot of diversity of lands that Obama got connection to. And then he has connection to Kenya. That's where the true Mount Zion is. Like, as it's written that the altars have a pillar at the border thereof. So, when you go south of the altars, you're going down into Mount Zion, which is Kenya. And that's why on top of the Kenya mountain, Mount Kenya, the highest mountain, you got Lewis Glacier. Because when you understand that Lewis Glacier is very important, because when you understand that whole theme of the Lewis, when you translate praise the Lord, it becomes Lewis Eternal. Holly means to praise, Lewis Eternal Yah. It's very important to know what's going on and how they operate, so you can know what's happening and why it's happening and what's going on. That's why in Ezekiel 1:4, and it says, behold, a whirlwind came out the north. So it goes into that revealing from the land of the north. So the Messiah, as it's written in 1 John 4:3, those who deny Messiah come in flesh are spirits of Antichrist. He says, seeketh my face and ye shall find me. It's very important. So when you understand Kansas, as you can see right here with Kansas, right there in the middle, you see the winds are blowing away from Kansas. They're not blowing into it, it's blowing away from it because, as it's written in Matthew 24:31, because Kansas is in tornado alley, so that's why it deals with that whirlwind coming out the north. So it says, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds from one end of the earth to the other. So the gathering is going to be happening. People are going to be waking up, and the awakening going to flock together. That's why I say he caused an east wind to blow in the heaven, and by his power he brought in the south wind. You see? So we can delve into that right quick. So look at the U.S. map. Look at how the winds are blowing around Kansas. East and south, So it's very important to understand all of that. That's why Obama's going to have all that connection with all that diversity. He had to have that Wichita connection because they know the Messiah was going to rise out of Kansas. Kansas area code is 316, hint John 3:16, for God sent his only begotten Son. Those who believe shall have eternal life. So that's why you got the song Seven Nation Army. Go right to it. I'm just going to read the lyrics. I don't really feel like playing. I don't feel like hearing all that noise right now. I don't think y'all want to hear all that noise neither. We done heard it millions of times. So you see in the song, he says, I'm going to Wichita. And then he said, I'm bleeding, bleeding, bleeding right before the Lord, So it's all coming together. I'm bleeding, I'm going to Wichita, because they know the Messiah is going to rise out of Wichita. That's why during Obama's era, notice in the 1960s, you had the so-called black and white coming together because it goes into that Masonic ritual, the light and the darkness, and they want everybody cleaved together in rebellion. They don't want Judah, they don't want the Holy Kingdom of Judah acknowledged and everyone grafting into the Holy Kingdom of Judah to have salvation and learning the ways of the Lord. They don't want that. They want people being blacks and whites, Or black, you know what I mean? That's how, like I explained before. I put that all in the comment section below the video. I explained about why they created their false races, their, false human races. So, hey, boy, hold hands or have a dream speech. So, that's what they want. They want people to just hold hands, be blacks and whites, and die as Babylonians. Go to hell, after. Live your life. Do what you want to do. Live the life you want to live. So all that freedom of speech, people thought all these years the Constitution was real, and they thought they really had rights. When your only right is to do what the Lord say, or you do what the Lord say, or you rebel against what the Lord say. Either you do what's morally right according to God, or you go against it. There's no freedom of speech. There's going to be consequences for that, and that's the time we ushering into. It's a law about to flow from Zion, so that's why now they bringing their laws in America, trying to comfort people to stay here. What do you need? The Messiah. We don't need a Messiah, like Obama said. We don't need a Messiah. All we need is hardworking people. So you see, you got the black and white, Dr. King, let's delve into this. Then right after that, you got the color TV came around that time too. So, when you got the color TV, that's very serious, because that goes into nothing but that whole theme of how they want to bring people into that illusion, that false color, that false color and that false reality, And it goes right into that rainbow, because remember the Father said he placed his bow in the cloud as a covenant with humanity. So that's why they brought their rainbow. Obama started pushing what? He started pushing the sodomite laws, the LGBTQ. Bringing the rainbow. Remember on the Wizard of Oz, over the rainbow, I see. You know what I'm saying? So that's why all that stuff connects. You know what I mean? And no, I'm not the best singer, but I just have to remember that, so you can remember that. That lyric, so you know what she's talking about, over the rainbow. Making it over the rainbow, throwing a guy, getting it to the kingdom of heaven. That's why they made it to Emerald City. You know what I mean? Emerald City goes into Judah, being as the emerald, holy kingdom of Judah, Revelation 4:3. So that's why Obama, when he came into office, you had the plane trying to go from New York to Seattle. Seattle was called Emerald City, in blasphemy. I've been out there. It's a lot of Leviathan spirit. I even think they have the Kraken hockey team. It's a lot of Leviathan spirit. You know what I mean? But that whole thing, when you understand Kansas, is very serious, because they already know the Messiah was going to rise out of Kansas. So you see, getting to Emerald City. That's why she said, we're not in Kansas anymore. Obama had to crash that plane. I'm about to get into that in a minute, though. Oh, during his time that the plane had to crash, what I mean, and go into that lake. Because that go right back to that 50 Cent, crushing them bricks. And then you saw the plane. I'm going to look at that one more time. So we can go back, and I'm going to get to it in a minute. But you see that plane, and they remember the children that was in that lake, inside that pool. They want people inside that lake of fire, Collect Judahite souls all day. Collect humanity souls. Throw them in the hell pit. Make sure they miss the Exodus is what it's implying. That's what Obama was letting you know who he was. He wanted to prevent the Exodus. Crash that plane in that water. Send them all to the lake of fire. And I'll play something in a minute, but in Amos 9:1, I saw the Lord standing upon the altar. So, the Lord should stand upon the altar. And there only can be one. Obama, that's the whole time it's going into, as it's written in Isaiah 14, I will ascend above the height of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. That's what Lucifer says. Yet shall be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall look narrowly upon thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake nations? So you see, you're going to be brought down into that pit, because that pit go right into the altars. When you understand the pyramid. So I'm going to show you this right quick. So you see the pyramid, you got the king's chamber, and then right under the queen's chamber is the pit that the Antichrist is going to be cast into. He's going to be cast off the top of the altar. That's why they always got the movie scenes where you see people fighting on top of buildings, then they get thrown, one of them get thrown off, Because they already know the prophecy. Satan going to be cast down. Obama going to be cast off the top of that altar. You know, that's what Obama about to rise into, that whole role of a czar. That's why they got it getting ready for him to already be able to try to get that third term. You know. Notice all of this is happening while he's 63. That's 666. And you see, that's why he had to play for Punahou High School in Hawaii. Could I go into the tree of death? And when you understand Obama, you know, he played basketball. He had to do basketball because that goes into the court. It deals with the court and it deals with the rim, because in ancient times, the high priests of Israel, the Levites, would wear the urim on their chest for their breastplate so they can bring the law of God. So they go into that urim. So he wanted to be above the rim of God, you know, be his own God, and he wanted war against the law, war against heaven, you know. So you see, Obama already was pushing the sodomy. How can an Antichrist be a Gentile like Trump, you know, falling into the European nations when, as it's written, neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor any God, for he shall magnify himself above all. So the God of his fathers, you know, that goes into the whole covenant, the laws and statutes was given unto Israel, unto Abraham. So the God is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He dealt with the Hebrews, and then that's why everyone all together, everything is all inclusive, because the Messiah rises through he rises through the tribe of Judah anyway, and all the people shall gather unto him. So it's not dealing with no race, no color, or anything. It's all about us going and returning back unto the Son of God and walking his ways and learn his ways and steps to get to the Father. So how is Trump that when Obama, you know, he technically fall under that Hebrew? That's why he had to have the Islam connection. Because then, you know, his dad being from Kenya, Judah has all of that. It was all in those territories anyway, throughout Africa. That's why Flora Louise Shaw, Dame Flora Louise Shaw, she's the one credited from changing Judah into Nigeria, because in Psalms 83, 3 through 5, it speaks about how they say that they want to remove the name Israel, that it be remembered no more. They formed a confederacy against thee. So that's very important to understand. When Judah was brought on slave boats, as is prophesied in Deuteronomy 28:68, that we would go on boats and go back into Egypt again. Those boats went through Louisiana, and they were taken from Judah, the land of Judah. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important to understand the prophecy. That's why they changed the names to Nigeria and all of that, to confuse people. Because Nigeria just means to be black, and that's what they want to black and remove the name. So that's why I said they removed the name Israel, that it be remembered no more. They want to black everything out. So you see, it said the Antichrist will not regard the God of his father, nor the desire of women, nor regard any God. So he gonna not even have the desire of women. That's why he pushed the sodomite laws. Obama did. Trump, look at what Trump's doing. He's getting rid of the whole transgenderism from the schools. He said there's only two genders. Look at what Obama says. I make love to men daily, but in the imagination. So he said he makes love to men daily in his imagination. What is his imagination? That's why it's all on the TV, the media, and all of that. The God of this world, Satan, deceiving and blinding the minds of the people. You know what I mean? So it's very important to understand this stuff, man. So look at what Trump say. Let's look at the deportation. By Trump threats offers presidential plane for deportation flights. So you see, they already know about the exodus that's going to happen in 1 Thessalonians 4:17. Then we which are alive and remain should be caught together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we forever be with the Lord. So that going to the planes, what's spiritual is physical. So you see, they want everybody in that pool, they want everybody in that lake of fire, because they want them to miss the plane, the exodus, and deny it how it's going to go down. That's why they fool people with rapture talk. You're not going to find the word rapture in the Bible pertaining to anything talking about, the whole aspect of the Exodus, returning to the Lord's land. That's why those devils don't want people knowing that the kingdom of heaven is going to be built on earth. The 1,000-year reign is going to be on earth. That's all in Isaiah 61. The Lord said we're going to build the way cities. In Isaiah 61, 1 through 5, we're going to build the way cities. We're going to restore his altars. Zechariah 6:12, the Lord returned in flesh so that he can build his father's house, restore the Lord's house. Come on, man. It's all in there. That's why in Revelation 3:3, it says, those people are like, well, he come as a thief in the night. Nobody know what it says, what it was saying in Revelation 3:3. It clearly say he only come as a thief unto you when you're not watching. That's why he said, let us watch and be sober. We're children of the day in 1 Thessalonians 5, 1 through 8. We're children of the day, not children of the night. So how are you saying he's a thief in the night? I mean, you're not watching. You need to get your life right and start paying attention to the signs and humbling yourself and repenting as it's written. You repent fast because the kingdom is near. So people sitting there saying this is what they think. Like I said, all of that stuff, they think they got that freedom of speech. That Constitution is about to be, it never even existed. They just had that stuff in place to fool people. That's why they're going to get rid of all of that, because that's about to come down to following the law of God. And you go against that, it's going to be severe consequences, especially if you're in Babylon. It's not going to be no joke when time start really progressing. And people trying to tell me they think what they know. Okay, we're going to see what's going to happen to you if you don't repent. Because they don't have no mercy. We're not dealing with humanity. We're literally dealing with demons who are in flesh suits, running around possessing people through Freemasonry. They do not care about children, women, men, none of that. You heard what Obama said. He fantasized about men all day. So why do you think all of the trafficking and everything is going on? Think about how much damage is happening to people's lives. Think these devils care about humanity? No, they want humans destroyed. That's why they gave you those games, destroy all humans, Take your PlayStation 3 controller, PS3 controller, sit down, eat you some hot Cheetos, or some Lay's, however you want to do it, drink your Hawaiian fruit punch, sit back, kick back, and destroy all humans, And that's how they used to try to trick us. Eat your ice cream, drink your slushie from 7-Eleven, go get your milkshake, whatever you want to do. Live your life. Sin, sin, sin. It's your life, Now you got people complaining about they got cancer, diabetes, etc. because of all of those things that was going on in that time. They trying to poison people. You think these devils care about you, and you think they gonna? What do you think? As it's written, every knee must bow, every tongue must confess. They doing their jobs, and they're doing it well. And because people need to pay attention to the signs. The more we wake up, the more this stuff is gonna crumble. So the word of God is fulfilling. So I'm gonna delve into this. I'm gonna go into Revelation 12 right quick. Actually, before I go into this, to very clarify it, so people can understand what's going on. So as it says, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars, and she being with child, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns upon his head, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which is ready to be delivered for to devour her child as soon as it was born, but she brought forth a man child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. So the 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns, 7 times 10 is the 70s. The 7 crowns going to the 7th month. So you see it said the dragon was trying to slay him before he was born. So let's delve into that, because like I explained before, should pull in my bag, guys. So like I explained before, in that day there should be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and it should be a sign and for witness unto the Lord of hosts. It's a sign and witness. So the altar stand 5,776 inches, the 5 for the 5th day, the 7 for the 7th month, and then the 76 for the 1976, July 5th, 1976 birth. That's why July 4th, 1776, they pushed their liberty and independence. And then also, remember they opened that CERN machine a few years ago on July 5th. Because they know that date all goes into the birth year. So it's very important to understand what's really going on. So even like I was showing this a few years ago, When you understand who the Messiah was going to be, as he says, seeketh my face and ye shall find me. So it's very important to understand how the Messiah, like I explained with the text connecting to Kansas through the train system. Back in the 1800s, Arthur Stilwell, he even said that the spirits led him to Port Arthur, named the place Port Arthur, to Port Arthur, Texas. Because that Port Arthur just goes into that port, that gateway into the author, which is the penman. So the penman, which is the author of the book of life, comes through that portal, comes through that gateway. So when you understand how serious this is, Luke 16:26, between us and you there is a great gulf fixed. So between us and you there is a great gulf fixed. So that's why you got the Gulf. You got Texas, Louisiana, and the Gulf. So you see how all of that connects, and that's why he had to go from Texas to Kansas, because it was showing how, he was going to rise out of the Texas, which goes into the 776 zip code, and it was going to connect to Kansas, which goes straight into that whirlwind, him being revealed. So you see how they had the, as it's written in Matthew 24, where, wherever the eagles are gathered, there's the carcass. So the eagles gather around the carcass. That was all prophecy of how the eagles, as it says, we will be mounted as eagles with wings. We will be reborn and mount up like eagles with wings, being renewed in strength. So you see he had the 21 jersey on with the Eagles, because the 21 going to 2021, that was going to begin the year of Revelation, the 21st century. That's why Kanye West said, I'm living in the 21st century. No one man should have all that power. I'm the abomination of Obama's nation. He was blaspheming the Messiah. The Carol for Kara, the Lewis for the Lewis Eternal, and the Williams for the I am that I am, and then the second for the second coming. That's why Barack Obama's name is what? Barack Hussein Obama II. Because it's all let you know about that second time we're in now, of the time now where we in the end. This is the time of the 1,000-year reign, where the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, will cast down Satan, the king of Babylon. You see? You gotta have a football, because Isaiah 22:18, as it says, he will surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country. So you see how even when you look at how Louisiana is shaped, all in that Gulf is shaped, you see how it's shaped like a hand holding a football. And you can even see the eagle, and you can even see the saints, and you can even see the footpath to safety. Like the helmet, that's why they wear helmets in football. That's why the Messiah had to deal with the football, because it goes into the game dealing with the field. Like I said, Obama deal with the courts, but football deals with the earth. It's way higher because it deals with the earth. You got to go through earth to get to that court anyway in heaven. So you see it deals with that whole theme of that foot walking in the steps of Christ. You see? It's all right there when you really know the signs and people really do research and know what's really going on. It's very important. So you see he played for the Eagles in Port Arthur, because that eagle just goes, like I just said about the Eagles, which represents the Saints. That's why right now you got Eagles and Chiefs, and where are they at? In Louisiana, where the Saints play. That's going to be the Super Bowl, which I'm about to get into right now. So as you can see, the whole theme of for Stephen F. Austin Eagles. Like I said, I wrote this down like probably about 3 years ago. So the Son of God being revealed. That's why you see Obama is way higher than any president, because he has his own seal. He has the Obamacare. As it says, the Antichrist will do many false healings. That's why he had to have the Obamacare. That's why Trump said we never can really get rid of Obamacare. We just got to make the best of it, So even right now, you got Kendrick Lamar. You see how he showed the accident. I'm put all, like I said, I ain't gonna go too deep in this. I already broke all this down. I just put in the comment section below. But you see how he got those candle visuals, like 50 candles over there, and then he got all the victims over here on the right. You see that? And they already knew what they was about to get ready to do. You see he showed that vehicle, that car, and then you see how it's aiming towards like the crowd. And he got those candles, because that goes into that attack that had to happen in Louisiana with that Ford F-150 lightning truck, because Christ shineth like lightning from the east to the west. And it happened at 3:16 a.m. So that's that John 3:16, and that Kansas area code 316. You see? And that's why they said it was 50 victims. So let's read his 35 injured, 15 injured, 35 killed. So you see how it says, excuse the language, where he said, I got friends, I got foes, but they all sitting ducks. So you see that y'all sitting ducks, they just about to get rammed over by that truck, that's what he's saying. Christ is coming, Messiah being revealed, and people about to be a lot of sitting ducks. People don't even know what's happening. They getting fooled by Satan's riffraff. So it said, hit his turf and get cracking, double back like a deluxe. So that double back is that second coming. And then he said 50 deep, but it ain't deep enough. You see that 50 deep, but it ain't deep enough. You see that 50 deep because 50 people got hurt. And see how he says, what else he say right quick? I was playing in the video. Like I said, I broke it down already. But yeah, basically all of that stuff about, I know he said he about to kill them all. He said he about to kill them all. When he was talking like that in the song, because they already know what had to happen. Messiah coming to bring that judgment. That's what he was saying. That judgment coming, and y'all don't even know what's going on. But we got y'all dancing to our music. We just want to keep collecting y'all souls. Wish me luck. 50 Cent, get them in that pool, make them miss that exodus. They get put in that pool of fire, So you see, that's why even when Obama became president, they was in Louisiana. And that was 2010 when they played the Super Bowl, when Louisiana won the Super Bowl that year. So it was in Texas, and then you had it in the Super Bowl, the whole thing dealing with the Saints playing, my bad guys, the Saints, when Obama was in office, So as soon as he came in office, that's when that had to be the Super Bowl. There's no way around none of that. And right now, you got the same connection. Trump coming into office is about to be the Super Bowl. There's no way around none of that. And you see that one was in Miami at the Sun Life, the Sun Life, the Son of God blasphemy. So that's why right now you got to have the Eagles and Chiefs. Like I said, the Eagles just goes into the saints of God that gather unto Christ. And then the Chiefs, because, they go into how the Messiah said he'll make the saints kings and priests. So, he's the chief of chief, Lord of Lord, King of kings. So that's why this year they got to have them in Louisiana. It's all connected. That's why you even got the Willie Lanier who's involved. He's talking about, I think he had the 6'7" connection. He was a linebacker in 1967 to 7667 blasphemy. So that Willie just going to the William, the I am that I am, had to be involved with the Chiefs, And they really pushing that Saquon Barkley, you know what I mean? Because that Saquon Barkley, that Saquon just means the blessed one, So it's all coming together. You see, he was born on 2/9, and that goes to the Super Bowl's birth. The date of the Super Bowl is 2/9. Like I was explaining in my previous video, how the word Passover is connected. It was mentioned 29 times in the Bible. That goes right before that. Passover happened right before the Exodus. And that's why his wife's name is Anna, because that just goes into Louisiana, His wife's name is Louisiana. So you see, as it's written in Nehemiah 1:9, but if ye turn unto me and keep my commandments and do them, though they were cast out unto the uttermost part of the heaven, yet I would gather them from thence and bring them unto the place that I have chosen to set my name there. That's why the slave boats went through Louisiana. It's very important to know the prophecies, man. And that's why this year, too, the All-Star, as it's written, we are the stars of heaven. So that's why it's going to be in L.A. next year, because L.A. is just the abbreviation for Louisiana. That's why L.A. had to go through that fire right now. Because they go into that fire, that light of the world spreading through Lewis. The Lewises are waking up. That fire is spreading. The light of the world is being revealed. And then that's why this year they're going to have it in San Francisco at the Golden Gate Bridge area, because that all goes into the whole theme of the stars of heaven gathering into that Golden Gate Bridge, gathering into Christ, who's the bridge to the Father. That's why St. Louis, Missouri got that archway, So it's very important to understand all of that. Collecting. That's why Patrick Mahomes stayed with injured feet, because he's in Kansas City, so it go into that Kansas City. We're not in Kansas anymore. Click your heels together so we can get back to Kansas from Emerald City. Get back to reality. And that's why that Cardi B, was talking about these is bloody shoes. Hit the store. Because the store, they want to hit that. They want to go inside that altar, blaspheme the king's chamber of the Lord within the altars. And these is bloody shoes, because we walk in the steps of Christ, but they want to blaspheme his name. So they want to walk in the blood of the lamb and drag his blood and just keep making their own past being their own God. Have they bloody shoes on. Every knee must bow, every tongue must confess, even demons tremble at the name of the Lord. So I'm going to end that right here. Thank you for watching Hide and Seek TV. Like I said, much more is coming, y'all. Let's stay tuned. Let's just stay in prayer. And let's keep, not just pray, but we literally act and we build. Faith without works is dead. Stay tuned. Peace.